Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. Welcome to the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge, Round 5. And welcome to the madness that is also known as Belle. I'm Clyde Whiting, and sharing the booth with me tonight, as usual, it's the world's richest pensioner. It's Sir Alan Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody. Delighted to be here at this exciting venue.
And also with us, your cameraman, doing everything that you see on your screens. It's, I'm going to say, maybe a very sunburnt Sam Boozin, but knowing Sam, he probably hasn't been outside for the last 8 years, so he's probably as white as Adam Wright's legs. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening. I'm not. I do walk every morning, but I try to avoid the sun still. So I'm not as white as Adam, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I think even Ant Woodward has out-trumped Adam Wright in the white leg stakes. But anyway, enough of the sexual talk. Belle, Alan.
Yes.
14
indeed.
turns, 2.35 miles, located in Detroit, Michigan, in the good old US of A. We had a little chat off air. You love it. I hate it. I think for the majority of drivers, it's a bit of a Marmite track. They love it or they hate it, but it does give us good racing, doesn't it?
Well, it's a racer's circuit. There's room to race on it. There is, and the only trouble is there isn't room to get it wrong. There's very little of anything you could describe as runoff room anywhere.
Yes, totally agree with that. I've had my run-ins with other people on this track. I actually think I remember punting somebody. It may have been Ant Woodward here in the V8s. Somewhere. It's just one of the many people I've punted off. So, take your pick from that. Last time we was here was way back in season 1. That's how popular it is with this series. GT4 race was won by Andrew Hopley in the BMW M4, and the TCR race was won by Kevin Veermont in the Audi RS. The lap records, which we've seen a lot of these old records tumble. Andrew Hopley 136.191 in the GT4, and get this one, Alan.
Yes.
Carl Hardy with a 138.273 in TCR.
That's the second fastest lap we've had from Carl recently, isn't it?
That's going to go tonight, though, isn't it?
Sadly, it probably will. It's probably gone already.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Sam Blees has done a 36.4, which is nearly 2 seconds quicker than that.
Goodness me.
Simon Trendle has done a 34.0, so that's over 2 seconds quicker than the GT4 lap records. So they are going to tumble. Let's have a quick look at where we are in the championships. GT4 championship is absolutely phenomenal. After last week, Simon Trendle leads the way on 268, Dominic Sawicki second 267, and Stephen Walker in third with 221. In the TCRs, Sam Blees leads the way with 291, Matt Elmore in second with 239, and Russell Cowell in third with 232. In the team championship, even this one's close. Team Chimera 480 lead the way, Spectre 6 TCR 471 in second, and Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black with 444 in third. Driver of the meeting, we've had some very interesting voting going on so far this season. Equal first with 4 votes, Matt Elmore and Dominic Sawicki, and equal third with 3 votes is Martin Brennan, Sam Blees and Simon Trendle. We also got the head-to-head sorted out last week, and the top 4 from each group go through to the quarterfinals. So TCR Group 1, it's currently Sam Blees, Matt Elmore, Russell Cowell and Carl Hardy. And Group 2, Spencer McCarthy, David Ayres, Matt Flannery and Martin Brennan. In GT4, Group 1, currently Simon Trendle, Dominic Sawicki, Jamie Wilson, Stefan Goebel. And in Group 2, Stephen Walker, Arnaud Chanonnier, Chris Needham and Ollie Ricks. Last week we was out at Mosport. GT4 Simon Trendle took the win with Stephen Walker second, Dominic Sawicki in third, and Spencer McCarthy took the TCR win with Sam Blees second and Matt Elmore third. So that's my reading done. I can now put my glasses away. So Alan,
Yes, matey. I'm enjoying that. But look at this lovely car. Isn't that beautiful? What a sight that is.
The championships are tight. This is one of those tracks that anything can happen. And when I say anything, it can be a blocked track from a massive pile-up. It can be somebody 25 seconds in the lead, clipping the wall and spinning, damaging, totaling their car. We will not know who is going to finish where until the cars cross the finish line. But, there is a but, where do you think the winners are going to come from tonight, Alan?
Yes, well, okay, so we go by form, and that's going to put the thinkers at the front, because they're going to come out with some fantastic pit strategy. And we're going to see Sam, and he's going to outthink everybody with incredible, get the right to a teaspoon amount of fuel in, and Simon's going to do the same in the GTs. But
yeah,
that's the way you think. It could go that way, couldn't it? But
yeah,
let's face it, this place, we have no idea what's going to happen, because, like you say, the track can become a whirlpool, a maelstrom of destruction. When things go wrong, they can go badly wrong here. So you really don't know, and until the times are looking regular, the fast guys who are normally at the front are at the front, but you can't call this.
No, I was just going to say that, TCR times are very close. Simon Trendle has got about 4/10 in provisional pole in GT4. So Stephen Walker in second, not really challenging him yet, but there's still just over 5 minutes left of qualifying. Ellis Stevens is back with us in GT4, and just as he is what not to do for anybody thinking about signing up for one of our series, don't do what Ellis does, and put in his wrong iRacing number, because it then took me 20 minutes to find his real number and put everything right so that he could get into the session tonight. So there you go. There's a little bit of a bum slap for Ellis.
Naughty Mr. Stevens. There we go.
I just noticed, now this will please Alan, Carl Hardy third in TCR. Now, considering he does hold the current lap record in TCR, that must say that he likes this track and gets on with it quite well.
Yes. It brings out the best in him in these places. I think they challenge his ability as a driver. But he's been getting quick, I think it's very close to being impossible to separate him and Matt at the moment. They're like Siamese twins. They're so close in time. And in practice, it's been the same. The times have been so close, Clyde. It's like there's no splitting anybody. One real wrong could change the whole face of the race. So we just don't know.
My only concern with lap times, and I've said it before, is it's great being comfortable on a track and banging in quick times and practice, and even banging in quick times in quali. but most of the time, 99.9% of the time, those lap times are not done in racing conditions where you have other cars around you, in front, behind, to the side, and especially around here, all over the place. So I think what I'm getting at is, just because you can put in a quick time around any track doesn't mean you're going to be able to do well in the race. But let's hope somebody, everybody, in fact, can prove me wrong and have a wonderful race. The only other bit of sort of major news within the series is Roger Morton has taken a penalty and switched from GT4 to TCR. So Roger not getting on with GT4, so he's back and comfy in the TCR. Let's see how he gets on. So just over 2 minutes left to go. No real changes in GT4. Simon Trendle on provisional pole, Stephen Walker second, Stefan Goebel in third. And same order in TCR at the moment. Sam Blees on provisional pole, Matt Elmore second, Carl Hardy third. No times. Sorry, yes, they have set times now. Times from Roger Morton and Ellis Stevens in their respective classes. The fountain corner, or series of corners, Alan, is always fun. We've seen people parked on top of the fountain. It is a single car line through that section, but we do still see drivers trying to go too wide, and it normally ends up in tears.
Yes, but this track invites side-by-side racing, doesn't it? You know, it feels spacious right on here. You feel comfortable. You could get cars 3 abreast down here, and you know, it feels spacious. It feels, even though you're constricted by the walls, it doesn't feel like, oh, I've got to stay in the middle of the road. You can hold your racing line, and these guys are all good drivers, Clyde. That's the thing. You know, they all know how to drive. I don't think they're going to be intimidated by a few walls. And I got a feeling this is going to suit Simon very well, this track. His really composed driving style, accurate and smooth, is going to suit this place.
I totally agree. These drivers will not be intimidated by walls. However, that will not stop them from giving them a slap, especially on corner exits, because there is no runoff. As we were saying before we came on air, this is one of those tracks where accuracy will pay off in the end. You will end up with the least damaged car, which may end up being the fastest car. You won't get yourself incident points by slapping walls or spinning your car, and you won't get damage that will need to be repaired, and you won't get a drive of shame. So yeah, this is one of those tracks that tends to reward accuracy, and I've seen every single quick driver that we've got in this league slapping walls in either the practice or the qualifying session. So that's going to be good. The checkers are out in the qualifying session. Still a few cars out on track, so we don't know what's going to happen yet. I can tell you that Simon Trendle is not out on track, so Stephen Walker is trying but failing. He did get closer. He's got into the 133s.
Good time from Stefan as well.
Yeah. Jarek Sebula is out on track as well. He may be able to do something. Matt Elmore is on track but not going any quicker, so I don't think he's going to get anywhere near Sam Blees. Stephen's still on track, plugging away, trying to get a half decent time in. Roger Morton has moved his way up to 8th in TCR.
Roger's Roger was comfortable switching to the TCR. He told me he was happy, he felt comfortable in the Elantra. So good move for him, even if he does take the points drop out. Need happy drivers. Happy drivers drive well.
Exactly. You know, if you're not challenging for the championships, the points don't mean that much. So you might as well jump into a car that you enjoy, rather than just wrestling a beast for the rest of the season.
Looks pretty, that car as well, doesn't it? You've done well with these paints.
That's oh yeah. I don't think I did that one, to be honest. I just read on our Discord channel that there is no Dominic Sawicki tonight. Right up there in the championship, something has died on his pedals.
I wonder where Dominic was. I was missing him.
I should rephrase that. Something has died within his pedals. It's not like his cat has jumped on his pedals and died. I shouldn't even have mentioned dead cats, because now Pete's going to be upset and just open the bag of worms. Let's get on with the grid, shall we? So, taking pole position in GT4 is Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Stephen Walker lines up second for Spectre 6, and great qualifying from Stefan Goebel, VTS Esports, in third. Fourth is Jarek Sebula, fifth Jamie Wilson, sixth is Chris Needham, seventh is Kylie Haddington, and eighth is the returning Ellis Stevens. Into TCR, and Sam Blees took the pole position for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing. Matt Elmore in second for Spectre 6 TCR, and Carl Hardy got that third place for Safeguard by Result. Russell Cowell is in fourth, Shane Powell in fifth. David Ayres lines up in sixth with Matt Flannery in seventh. Roger Morton is in eighth, JB Dejoux in ninth, Martin Brennan in 10th, and Scott Malcolm in 11th. Now, I expect, Alan, that on this pace lap, the TCRs are going to give the GT4s a whopping great gap, because if there is any calamity in the GT4s, we are more than likely going to have a block track, which also means I am just going to type in the command for the safety car, just in case.
The trouble is, of course, with the corners here and the walls, you can't see when people are going off all the time. You know, people can go off quite close in front of you, and they're around the corner and you can't see them.
And the GT4s have gone, and they've got away cleanly, so that's good. TCRs are now away. Let's see if these guys can get round clean.
I'm expecting them to be calm from the off-head. They know this is a dangerous place with cold tyres.
We will just hover on that yellow flag button.
It's a lovely sight, isn't it? Look at those cars cascading down the straight. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, Kylie, don't start already. Goodness me.
Well, there's nothing wrong with an early spin to get it out of your system.
I want him to do well.
Marco Nemela has started on me on the chat already, and I have totally ignored him for the last 20 minutes, which is great. And Mike Frost says, good luck all. And I think luck is something that you need around here. Look how close they're getting to the walls already.
Yes, a great camera shot as well. That was tasty. You could get a real feel for the pace and the closeness of the walls. Look at this. This is great stuff. I'll tell you what, I wish I got the wing mirror franchise, because they're going to make a few quid.
That is one of those tracks, isn't it? Yeah. Marco is saying that he thinks P4 or 5 had a jump start in TCR. Let's keep an eye on Russell, Shane, just in case they've got a black flag.
Don't want that.
Got to tell with a rolling start.
Ooh, this is close, isn't it? Very tight early on.
Oh, shortened. There was a bit of contact there, wasn't there?
I don't think it was terribly bad, but there's certainly a bit of an impact.
Mike Frost says Sam is a prostitute. Well, that's how I read it anyway.
You don't seem to have lost any pace, thankfully.
Yeah, I think even with that, they get 3 laps to serve it. So, we'll have to have a keep an eye on it. But I personally didn't see anything wrong there. So, maybe have just have been a weird angle for Marco, or maybe he's just an utter lunatic.
Eric's doing well here. He's got in front of Stefan. Stephen and Simon, I think, are going to be hard to get past at the front here.
Yeah, Yarrick, well, we know from last week he's definitely got a mistake in him. And as we said before, you make a mistake round here and you do pay the penalty.
Yeah. Look at this. I mean, it makes for great viewing though, doesn't it? Look at these walls and the closeness of the cars and the closeness of the racing. It's just...
Yeah, it's this is one of those tracks, and I'm sure Sam will do it for us at some point, where an onboard lap is quite frightening.
If you don't get your braking right, you're in a pile of trouble, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's very easy to outbrake yourself, isn't it, and then understeer into that outside wall. And also, it's very easy to get on the gas too soon and slap the outside wall. Here we are on board with Stephen Walker, and you can see already how close he is to these walls.
The other thing about being close is you get sucked along with the toe, and that makes you misjudge your braking. It happens to me all the time. It does. I get caught up by the toe, misjudge my braking, and that's dangerous. And it's dangerous here because there's nowhere to pull aside if you're a very limited swerving potential.
Evening to young Mr. Tiggerwoo on the chat, also known as Tony Walker. Obviously, he came up with that handle when he was about 6, which was last year.
Pretty much what I would expect from Simon.
Ooh.
Very, I think he's pushing on, but you know.
Yeah, if he didn't touch the wall there, he was very, very close.
But they're getting a gap already. Look. Let's just hope they keep it clean, because we don't want to see a tragedy.
Talking of tragedies, Chris Needham.
Oh no, Chris.
He was pointing in the wrong direction. Let's see what happened. He's quick there. Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah, just carried too much speed.
Very easy in that Porsche.
Yeah.
It's a lovely car to drive, but yes, they can be a bit loose at the back end and want to come round on you if you're not careful, that's for sure. But I would imagine driving that car around is a lot of fun. They're very manoeuvrable, light in the steering.
I'm not sure Chris would agree with you at the moment, but he will do at some point.
Yes, they're just that little bit on the edge sometimes at the rear. I'm an expert. I think they call it oversteer, don't they? When you hit the wall with the back first, and understeer when you hit the wall with the front first.
Yes.
I've done both of those. I'm an expert, really.
I was always told that oversteer is when the passenger gets scared. Understeer is when the driver gets scared. Yarrick doing well to keep up with these two. So I know Stephen Walker took a couple of races, didn't he, to get to grips with the GT4, but he's been up the front there, battling with Simon and Dominic, who's not with us tonight. So yeah, Yarrick doing really well. They're dropping Stefan a little bit. I don't think Stefan will be too worried at the moment.
It's a game of tenths, isn't it, Clyde? It's a game of tenths with these chaps. They're so consistent in their lapping that they can make a 1/10 advantage, just eke out over 10 laps, and it just becomes substantial over time.
Yeah, TCR's a bit closer. The top three still together. A very small gap to Russell, who's then got a very small gap back to Shane. And then we're in a train again.
Bit surprised to see Russell and Shane getting gaps even slightly, to be honest.
Carl Hardy putting a lot of pressure on Matt Elmore at the moment.
They've got a lot of very good-natured rivalry going on at the moment. Their times are rocked together and they're locked together in practice. So they spend a lot of time racing close, and I think they enjoy it.
The worry always is that will Carl get sidetracked by a burger?
Very likely. They do good burgers in Detroit, I understand. Very large.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me that the street food in Detroit is fantastic. Not something I've sampled yet. But I do like to go on holiday to places where they do good food.
Yes. Now, I heard something about Detroit food, so maybe there is something to that. It'd be nice to hear some good news from Detroit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ghost town, isn't it, since all the car manufacturing stopped, but yeah. Anyway, what's going... So, David Ayres is behind. So, we've got Shane Powell, David Ayres, Matt Flannery and Roger Morton in a bit of a train. That's Martin.
And Jason. So...
Martin and JB, isn't it? Martin, where's Martin at the back?
Oh.
Why is Martin...
He wasn't before, was he?
No, he wasn't. I think Scott and JB have both got...
Must have done something. They're eating that little gap out still from Russell. And he will be trying very hard not to let that happen.
Yeah, but again, like you say, it's so easy to overdrive, isn't it? And to try and get that back. So this is Roger Morton and Matt Flannery at the back of this little 4-car train.
Now, Mr. DeJoux and Mr. Brennan are going to catch up because Martin's had fine pace these last few weeks.
Yeah, Martin's done really well, hasn't he?
He's been top 6 finishing, so he will be putting some pace on and wanting to move through the field, and that's not going to be easy. It's hard to get past Scotty as well. He's an experienced driver.
Well, Carl Hardy cutting the grass there. That lost him a little bit of time.
Don't need to do that because I'm pretty sure he's only just hanging on.
That is one of the very few pieces of grass on the track that he managed to find there. Normally, if you're off the track, you're in a wall.
Probably thought that's where the burger van was parked. Right.
I'm just seeing a lot of cars at the moment flirting with the wall. Now, we know these drivers don't really... Well, GT4s don't tend to take tyres. TCRs, some of them take 2, some of them don't bother. But that's obviously going to affect the handling of these cars in close proximity to the walls in the second half of this race. So drivers are going to have to be more switched on in the second half than they are in the first half.
Yes, I just think all the TCR drivers will have to take fronts at least, won't they?
You would guess so, yes.
Perhaps rears on the GTs, but you don't know, do you? But you don't want the back end coming out on the GT car in the last 15 minutes. It's not a place where you want your tyres going off, is it? Goodness.
No, Russell is really struggling, isn't he, to catch up with these?
Yes, no, I'm surprised.
Unless he... Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Is he just sitting off the back just in case something happens?
I'll just hit the wall, then. Looked like he did something. I know it, yeah. Maybe, but it's right on the edge of losing the toe, isn't he?
Yeah.
That would be bad news in terms of fuel efficiency and everything else. And morale. So I don't think that would be a position he'd relish.
Car control from these guys is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? They're all good
Well,
drivers.
Matt Elmore had a bad exit there.
Easton's doing 36s, you know, that's good times. You're doing good times. 36 is good.
Mike Brennan can't find a way past JB.
But I think that's going to be quite a handful for any of them. We know that both of those have got pace, and would probably be running a bit further up the field, but trying to get past Roger and Scotty is not going to be easy.
Tony on the chat says maybe Russ got wheel damage from the start when Carl came across him. That's always a possibility because you never know how the iRacing physics are going to affect your car. Didn't look to be significant. I'm sure Sam can get us on board with Russell and we can see if his wheel is pointing straight down the straights.
Sometimes it can just make a slight bit of damage to the suspension that really doesn't look, or you can't, it's really nothing visible, but it's kind of consistent with what would happen maybe was losing a few tenths in performance. And,
yeah, this is where we'll see the contact. He did bang the wall, didn't he, with his left front? But that wheel looks straight going down the straight to me.
I don't think it's that much, but maybe a bit of bent bodywork, lost a bit of aero.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Because that's the way it's driving, isn't it? It's still driving fine. He wouldn't be holding on to where he is if he wasn't still driving okay.
And to be honest, even if the car was 100% fine, the driver will still tell you, oh yeah, that damage really affected me. But yeah, to me that looked like it was tracking fine. Matt Elmore has impressed me this season, Alan.
Yes.
You know,
I think it's a rivalry with Carl has pushed them both on. You know, I think it's pushed them both on.
He started the season well. and I was sort of, do you know what? Is this just a bit of flash in the pan stuff? But he's up there consistently, so hats off to him.
Yeah, no, he's dragged Cole along with him. You know, I think Cole would say so. You know, because they've practiced so hard together, they spend a lot of time in the practicing. And because they're so close in pace, they just naturally end up on the track together.
Yeah, must be a bit of a bromance going on, I reckon.
But yeah, I
Oh,
think
Sam was wild there. I don't quite know how he kept hold of that.
confidence.
Yeah, confidence, talent, skill, all the things that I haven't got.
I don't know how he's getting so close to the walls and not getting a clouds every time, to be honest. Simon's got such a fantastic car control. He drives it to within millimetres. It's an absolute demonstration. Skill. He always drives within himself. You know, he's always bang on the line. So I wish I could do it.
These two have dropped Yarrick now, though.
Yes, and that's not easy, which just shows you how, because, you know, there's good tow here, and Yarrick was in the tow, and he's a blooming good driver. So it just shows you how much pace these two are putting on here to actually break the tow for Yarrick. That's not easy. And Steph, you know, Steph's a good driver, and to actually be driving away on this circuit, that's some kind of driving, that is. Sam's not going to be able to do the same with the TCRs. He's still got his hands full.
Though Matt Elmore looks like he's putting him under some pressure. He's just in that tricky place, isn't he, Matt Elmore, that if he gets offline too far trying to make a move, Carl Hardy is going to say, thank you, coming through.
Sure. Absolutely, for sure. And it's no bad place to be, is it, until the pit stops? If he's there, he's not using as much fuel as the man in front. Might not be able to get him past him on the track easily, but if we get past him in the pits, that would be a smart move.
You can actually tell, you know, how much respect the drivers have for this track. Across the whole field, there is 6 incident points.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is, what, 20 minutes gone. We're a third of the way through.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I get more than that coming out of the pits.
I think iRacing give me 4 just for getting in the car, just to get it over and done with.
Nice one. Let's remember that one. Well, this is familiar for these two, and they're keeping well up with Sam, so... Ooh.
Don't
do that, don't do that.
Carl is all over his rear end. Not the first time Carl's heard that.
So difficult to get by when you're so close in pace. The straights are rather short, so you don't really get the chance to build up the momentum to outbrake somebody very easily.
Yeah, it's going to be, to me, it's going to tell us a lot on the pit stops. Has the leader had to use more fuel than the second place car? And is that going to put them in strife for the second half of the race?
Well, we don't know yet, but Stephen is no mug, and he will be trying to save fuel. Well aware of the situation, well aware of how hard it's going to be to get past Simon. And passing him in the pits is going to seem like a very pleasant option at the moment. It is. So, and he's a canny lad, so he'll know what he's doing.
Yeah, still a long way to go, and a lot of concentration for these drivers.
Sure is. I don't think this track requires more concentration than this place. It's intense, you know, from start to the finish. The lap doesn't give you a lot of time off. You're out of one thing and into the braking for the next, and you've got to get these braking right, because look, you can see the angles that you're working with. You've really got to get your braking right.
So I've just seen Martin Brennan come out of the pits. Now, I hope nothing went wrong. I'm hoping he was being a smart cookie. Couldn't get past JB. His pit window opened, and he thought, right, okay, I shall pass you in the pits.
Mr. Stevens in the pits. What's he doing?
Yeah, that may just be okay for GT4s.
He could be trying to be smart and do an early pit stop. Certainly not beyond him.
Ellis and Smart in the same. Not having that. Let me have a look at his incident points, see if they went up at all. No, so I don't think it was a crash. Maybe doing him an injustice there.
I think he's plenty smart enough. He's got plenty of racing smarts, Clyde. Perhaps he doesn't always choose to use them the way everybody would hope.
Do you know what? I've known Ellis for many years, and he's another one of those drivers that when he puts his mind to it, and he practices, and he turns up for every race, he is a championship contender. But he has too many. He does it with us. He'll sign up for a season, do 3 races, you don't see him again.
Yes, he stays busy, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's distracted probably. Deep
down, he has definitely got the nous to be up there with the quick guys.
Well, he's proved it in the past. He's got the laurels and the accolades, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has.
Probably thinks he hasn't got anything to prove, and he's probably right.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Pit lane entry is certainly a wake-up
call.
Powell
Is in.
You don't want to get that pit lane entry right, otherwise you've got a lot of concrete up your bonnet. This is fine driving by these guys at the front here, isn't it?
Yeah, Sam Blease has managed to pull a wee gap over Matt Elmore. I have seen Matt Elmore, I wouldn't say sideways, but certainly not pointing 100% in the right direction. A couple of times in the last few laps, which, like I say, has let Sam Blease eke away slightly.
That's probably Sam will be grateful for that. If he can get a little gap now before the pit stops, he would be very happy with that.
Scott Malcolm has been in.
Stevens really pressing on. I love that. The number one car and the 01 car, there's something very fitting about that. And they've got their banners proudly displayed.
Both of last season's champions there. Simon Trendle, our GT4 champion, and Stephen Walker, our TCR champion. Hence the numbering.
The fancy banner. Beautiful.
Is that they're coming up to? Is that Martin there? Is it? I think that's JB. It is JB. Usually very good at removing himself from danger when the GT4s are coming past him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Stephen was a little bit worried there that he was going to be offline. And as with multi-class racing, I know we've spoken about this on numerous occasions. It is up to the faster car to make a safe way around the slower car. It is not up to the slower car to jump out of the way and commit suicide. Any driver that does multi-class racing, they will always say, just please stay on the racing line, because then we know where you are and what you're doing, and we will find a way around you.
Certainly confirm that, because an awful lot of people have said that to me, Clyde.
Yes.
Including the man in the camera now.
Well, the racing line is one line around a circuit, and if you are sticking to the racing line, the driver trying to get past you knows exactly where you're going to be on each corner and each straight. Some tracks, most tracks will give you an opportunity maybe on the straight to, if there's a half decent gap behind you, you can pull to the other side of the track, lift off, let the faster car go through safely, but you certainly wouldn't want to do something like that if the faster car was already up your backside, because you can guarantee the second you go to make that move, they will be doing the same thing.
Sure. It's not easy to learn, though. It takes a bit of confidence to actually hold your racing line and let people go by. And of course, the other concomitant is when I first started, there is a racing line, as you rightfully point out, and then there's where I hopefully wished and thought the racing line might be, possibly. And to try and be somewhere in the area of the racing line was more like the intent, which made me a bit unpredictable on the track occasionally.
Yeah, although I think a decent front runner that knows they're going to be passing back markers will look at who the driver is in front and know, oh, hang on a minute, it's so-and-so. I need to wait until it is perfectly safe to get past this person, because there's every chance that they're gonna not be on the racing line or outbrake themselves or something like that. So yeah, it's, again, for me, that's the sign. To be a good fast driver is not always about winning every single race that you're in. It's about racecraft as well, and you have to be patient with some other people. Martin Brennan, yes, there you go. There, rush with the
classic. That's a nasty wall. That is a nasty wall.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the one that catches a lot of people out. It's not very well seen coming around the corner. It's so easy to misjudge it. But yes, I can going back to what you said. It's that's very true. It is. Of course, when you're at the back, you sort of got your eye behind you, and people try and pass you. If they do try and give you gear when they're passing, and I think that was probably a great advert for league racing for exactly that reason. You don't get that kind of knowledge and courtesy in an official race, because people just don't know each other well enough.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
But, having people who are aware of your limitations around you makes it a better race for them, and it's a better race for you.
Yeah, well, you've only got to look at this battle up front in GT4. If this was an official race, Simon Trendle would be defending into every corner. But Simon Trendle knows Stephen Walker well enough to know that Stephen is not going to make a lunge. He's not going to try something that's not on from 3 miles back. He'd try and break the toe, yes.
I think, Stephen's pressing. He's not contentious to sit in the toe, is he? He's trying to apply just a little bit of pressure
Yeah, and that, you know, that can have other benefits. Like if you can press but still, you know, if you look like you're extremely quick driving at 95% and the car in front is driving at 100% to try and stay in front of you, again, they're using more fuel. So the pit stop is going to be longer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tactics going on that don't look like they're tactics because they don't actually play out on the racetrack. They may play themselves out in pit lane.
Yes, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen actually, because we don't know how much fuel saving's been going on. I tend to think not an awful lot, but if anybody's managed to do something, it's Stephen, because he's had a close look at the back of Simon's car for a very long time now. I think the TCRs maybe not so much, because I think they look like they've been working harder.
I'll tell you what, Stephen Walker is in the pit lane.
There you go. This is a move.
So this is where it gets interesting. Yarrick in as well, as is Stefan Goebel in the background.
So 2, 3, and 4 in the pits. What's going to happen? Are they going to pull out in front of Simon? Simon will have pedal to the metal at the moment. He knows what's happening. Certainly Stevens rolled the dice. So all three of them have rolled the dice because they could still be out there. There's no doubt they've just got the fuel. They've decided to come in early.
Stephen is away. He is going to come out in some traffic, but he will be hoping that that's traffic that is either going to make themselves available to be overtaken, I think is a very diplomatic way of saying it, or they're going to pit very soon. There you go. Ellis moves out of the way.
Lovely polite driving.
Yeah, is Simon going to pit? Kylie Haddington is in the pits.
Fingers crossed. Jason to have a good pit stop. Doing very well. Driving in 6th position. That's great. What's happened to Chris? What happened to Chris Needham? Something happened to him, didn't he? He's lost a lap.
And he was facing in the wrong direction.
Oh, that's right. But he's lost a lap.
Yeah, well, I think instead of doing a 73-point turn, he reset back to the pits and took the toe.
Right. That's a shame. Chris is a good driver. I don't think he's not quite getting the results he deserves at the moment, I think.
Stephen Walker passes Roger Morton. Now he's got some clean track in front of him. Simon Trendle's still out on track.
Well, this is the crux of the race for the GTs.
I don't think it's just the GTs, is it? There's only just over a second between Sam and Matt. Be interesting to see if any of those have been able to save some fuel. Carl Hardy's dropped a good half second behind Matt Elmore.
Oh, sounds like a wheel in the grass because his pace has been good.
Yeah, we did see him in the grass, didn't we, a couple of times.
Yeah, his lap times are still the same. They're still doing brilliant, identical laps. 37.7. It's great.
JB Dejoux is coming in. David Ayres is in. And Simon Trendle is in the pit lane. So Sam keeps on Stephen. I will let you know what's going on with Simon. Doesn't look like he's going to be taking tyres. David Ayres leaves pit lane. Simon Trendle's still in there, and he's away, and he didn't take tyres.
How is that being brave?
Well, It's certainly giving him a bit of a lead. Well, I say a bit of a lead. A lot of a lead. Did Stephen Walker take tyres? I wonder if Sam can find that for us.
Well, that surprised me if he didn't, because I thought he would be running him close.
If Stephen takes tyres here, that could put... Oh, that didn't help. That certainly didn't help. He overshot his pit box.
Does he get a penalty for that?
No, apart from obviously the pit stop takes longer.
That cost him good
That's
5
cost
10
him
seconds.
5 seconds, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt Elmore, Carl Hardy, Russell Cowell pits, or all leaving the pits now. Sam Blease has stayed out. But Carl Hardy has jumped Matt Elmore in that pit stop up to 2nd place.
Well, this is going to be a titanic struggle. Is there a gap to Sam now? Is that gone out?
Well, Sam hasn't pitted yet, so we'll find. It was just over a second. We'll find out the true gap once Sam pits.
So Carl's taking advantage of all that time he spent in Matt's toe, so I'm not really surprised that he's actually managed to jump him at that stage. That seemed at least a doable thing. Carl's been right in his slipstream all that time. He's got to have saved some fuel. He's not a natural fuel saver, isn't Carl? But he knows when an opportunity's there, and he knows how close him and Matt are.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on the gap in GT4. It's just under 5 seconds at the moment, 4.8 seconds. I will, he says. Sam Blease is in the pits. Let me look at Sam on my other screen. So Sam is now moving.
Well, it didn't take him very long, did it?
It certainly didn't. However, the gap's not going to be massive. He's definitely increased the gap over these two, but it's not an unassailable lead
No,
at
he's
the moment.
inside. So that's... Having a view is really a big incentivizer.
It's a psychological thing, isn't it?
It sure is.
2/3 distance now. Although, I don't know whether Matt is going to find it difficult to make a move on Carl unless Carl makes a mistake. If these two get side by side, that's just going to increase Sam's lead.
Yes, I can't see that Carl's going to drive all the way without making the kind of slight error that's going to give Matt encouragement to dive past him.
Yeah, it's only got to be a slight wiggle, hasn't it, at the wrong place, and the car behind gets somewhere near your inside. Ellis, what was that, Ellis?
Oh, he's all right, isn't he?
Was he just moving out?
Oh, there we go. It's another Porsche back end.
Now he's got that horrible decision of, what do I do? Where are the cars coming? It is really difficult to see cars coming on a track
tricky.
like this.
Really
You
is.
are totally reliant on your, what we call the relevant screen.
Relative screen.
Relative, yeah, sorry. Well, it is relevant.
It certainly is relevant. I think I'm going to start calling it the relevant screen. I think that's just a beauty. It's a classic like that is. relevant.
Because I haven't raced for so long, I can't remember what things are. But yeah, you are totally reliant on it on a track like this to find out where the next car is coming on the track. Stephen Walker, Simon Trendle, 3.6 seconds. What's occurring there? That's dropped a second rapidly. Has Simon made a mistake? Has he slapped the wall? Is Stephen Walker just in general quicker? And he was being held up behind Simon. We'll find out in the next couple of laps. Still not a lot going on in incident points, which is good. So looks like a lot of drivers are going to be getting a clean race and not losing any of their total points.
It's been amazingly clean. I mean, when you think of the potential, this place is fraught with potential for disaster.
I always find out that this track does one or the other, doesn't it? It's either an absolute cluster or it's as clean as you can think. And we may do another race in another series in a few months' time, and we go, last time we was here it was really clean and blah 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 blah, and lap 1, turn 1, tracks blocked, safety cars out.
Yeah, this
is so easy.
Yeah, this is a lot cleaner than the Mazdas when we come here. Let me tell you, we've always got a wreck fest from T1. Everybody knows the tyres are cold, but hey. Yeah, so it's amazing to see. Oh, so it's gone again.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Oh, come on now. Mr. Stevens,
He's
really.
in the wrong direction again. He's going to get a black. Is he going to go for that escape road?
What is he doing?
He is. There
you go.
Get DQ'd for that, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, he's got a black flag. Oh, David Ayres has got a meatball flag.
Oh no. Oh, David's doing really well. He hasn't got his car. I don't want to say the I word, but he's still with us.
What has he done? Oh, there's a lot of speed going in there. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same corner that Morton had, isn't it?
They should rename that corner the Widowmaker, I think.
Yeah, it's a bad one. Oh, no, he's got damage there. That's
a lot of damage, mate. He's got a meatball flag for that.
Yeah, at least he's managing to drive in. Yeah, so far. Got my fingers crossed for you there, Dave. Come on. Anything to avoid the towing.
So, whatever happened to Simon, it sorted itself out because that gap is back up to 4.5 seconds.
I think it was traffic, Clyde.
Yeah, could be right. Could be right. And obviously, if it was traffic, Stephen Walker will be coming up to that traffic as well.
Aim is at 27 seconds. You think that was a lot, but when you think of how fast these guys are going, and I'm thinking how far behind would I be after this amount of time, after nearly 50 minutes, I'm thinking, I wonder just how far behind Simon Trendle I'd be at this point.
I reckon you'd be in front of him, Alan.
Yeah, but I'd be in front of him.
11 laps down, but you'd be in front of him.
11 laps down, kind of. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm thinking, if I could get around here and be within half a minute, I'd be pretty thrilled with that. More like half an hour's my pace.
So the only driver we've lost so far was Martin Brennan after we see him go into the Widowmaker wall.
So Simon didn't take tyres, so car is likely to be getting a bit lively, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we didn't see whether Stephen took tyres because we saw him overshoot his box, but he's got 4 seconds to play with, so he can back off a couple of percent and try and keep it nice and clean. Evening to Anthony Jacobson on the chat.
Evening, Anthony. I wonder. I don't think Stephen did. I don't think Stephen did change his tyres. Otherwise, he would be closing the gap, wouldn't he? Because Simon didn't, so he would definitely have better rubber. So he wouldn't be being gapped and kept the gap. He would definitely be closing the gap, I think. He probably didn't change his tyres anyway, and that little bit of time between them's become because he had to do a little reverse. So just a shame.
Carl Hardy comfortably keeping ahead of Matt Elmore at present. He's got another 12 minutes to concentrate and not think about burgers.
So, well, 2 car lengths is the most I've seen between them the whole race.
Yeah, Matt's certainly not dropping away from him. He's not really putting him under any pressure at the moment.
No, but that doesn't mean he couldn't. He looks very handily placed to me. A bit of last couple of lap shenanigans.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Alan. These two have been so close in pace on a track that's difficult to overtake on. Adding, not one of these drivers got a pace advantage over the other. It's going to take a mistake, isn't it, for an overtake to happen?
I would say so. I don't see either of these chucking it away lightly, and it's driving it on the racing line, keeping it there with the tyres going off. You've got a guy behind you putting pressure on you. You know he's there. You know he's quick. You know he's quite capable of taking advantage of any error. So the thing about that is the pressure goes on, and you can't account for what effect pressure will have on a driver.
Yeah, Shane Powell down in 6th. Anything for him, Sam, that you've noticed? Yeah, he's still on 0 incidents, but Matt Flannery is in front of him at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of seconds.
Maybe an error in the pit stop, I don't know.
Not quite used to seeing a 20-second gap between these chaps. 20-second gap between Matt and Shane and other Matt and Carl. It's 20 seconds is a substantial gap for people who are normally running very closely together. So, but they were struggling earlier, weren't they? If you remember, you noticed.
Yeah, they were.
They were slow off the mark a bit. So.
Andrew Littler on the chat says, "Hello guys, sorry I couldn't make it tonight. He's just got back from work." Been there, mate, believe me.
Evening, Andy.
How dare the real world get in the way of our sim racing?
Andy drove great last night in the MX-5. And he'll be upset to not be racing here tonight. He's as bad as me. He's a bit of a racing fool. We're lining up for the Sport 24, of course, soon. I wonder if any of these guys are going to be doing the 24.
Look, this is on.
Oh, no.
Matt Elmore has done it.
How's he done that?
I'd like to see that move again from the start.
Believe that.
Was that a mistake from Carl? Because I wasn't actually looking at the correct screen.
Oh, it's in the sandwich.
Spectre 6 sandwich. This is not looking good, is it?
Or is it just all toe? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
He's just...
He just used the double toe from Carl and the Simon Trendle going past in the Porsche, and that was enough to get him up the inside, and then it was a done deal. There was nothing Carl could do about it.
Fine piece of driving by Matt, and I had a feeling about that, I've got to say. And, it didn't take a mistake, did it? It didn't take a mistake. It just took a double bit of toe. Now we're neck and neck, going side by side, and
right.
more of the same.
Simon Trendle has a broken wing mirror on the right-hand side.
Oh, this is great racing, guys.
He's been very close to something.
It hasn't cost, well, that gap's down to 1.6 now, so maybe it did cost him a few tenths.
Yeah.
So that gap's come down. It was 4 seconds, not very long.
Although Simon is mired in traffic again.
Well, that could be costing him.
I've got no incidents for Simon, so... But you can see the walker in the background.
Visibly closing. Well, 4 seconds is down to 1.5, so...
They're going to give us a Titanic finish, I think.
We've got Hardy and Elmore going at it. Got Trendle and Walker going at it. Sam will be very happy to have 6 seconds.
Well, I can tell you that Carl Hardy has got back past Matt Elmore.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but it's happened.
Oh, it happened, yeah, early. It's happened, quite a while ago now. Roger's in front of Scotty. Was he in front of Scotty before?
Yeah,
They're doing well. They're doing well. They're still keeping it on the road and keeping going. This is good performance. I suppose it was too much less than Morton could have another really great race. But it's been driving so well recently.
Simon's time is gone. Oh.
Well,
We really need a radio channel so we can ask these drivers what's going on during the race. And tell them how wonderful they are just so that they crash.
I think
Elmore
you tune
won.
up in the race control audio channel into the race and you told to them, they will hear you.
Yeah, but then everybody hears you, so they won't want to tell people what's going on, will they? You know how vain these drivers are?
Well, there's another solution. You force them into Discord and then we drag them into the broadcast.
There is that, yes.
Shane and Matt are having fun. Lots of interesting scraps going on down the field. People are blowing up and having a good old bash at each other.
Yeah, they all seem to be coming together, don't they? Right at the end, inside the last 5 minutes, inside the last 4 minutes now.
Yes, so I'm very happy about his lead because his lap times are absolutely, well, actually, Carl and Matt are faster than him at the moment, and Matt is actually slightly quicker than Carl.
Carl is defending heavily in that corner where Matt overtook him last time, and probably too heavily. Is he going to sweep around the outside? Yes, he's held it.
He played the blind to retake when Matt got past him before.
Yeah, well, he actually over defended there.
Look at this, 3 wide.
You was very, very lucky there, Matt Flannery. There was no room to turn in, and Roger Morton let you off.
Good to see. Very good driving.
Yes.
Great skill and yeah, great awareness of the track. Lovely, lovely to see. Do enjoy watching skillful aware driving.
In fairness to Matt, it is very, very difficult to see a car on your inside, but you really need to assume that they're there and give as much room as possible, because if Roger had have turned him there, I don't think there would have been any blame on Roger. But it didn't happen. So let's concentrate back on these front battles. You're watching on board from Stephen Walker as he tries to get past Simon Trendle with his limp wing mirror on the right hand side that you can see quite clearly there. Meanwhile, I am keeping an eye on Carl Hardy and Matt Elmore. Nothing's going on at the moment.
With 2 minutes to go, you know, they're going to be pushing the limits of the track and the cars. Stephen will be pushing as hard as he can because he's trying to get Simon to just make any kind of a slight error. And, Simon won't be making any errors.
Yeah, they are going to get the white flag this time round. So there's going to be one more lap for Stephen to get this done. Carl Hardy has got a decent gap over Matt Elmore now. I think that's Yarrick coming through them. He may have split them up a little bit.
Split them up. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, really. But hey, it's probably saved Carl a bit of a nervous breakdown on the last lap.
Yeah, so there's Barney waving the white flag. Andy Dittler says that's not like Roger, he's getting soft. So, Stephen Walker is in last chance saloon for this win. Al Hardy, meanwhile, safely lets Yarrick Sebula past, which has allowed Matt Elmore to close the gap a little bit, but not by enough, I don't think. And I don't think there's anything Lucky Pants can do about Simon Trendle tonight.
No. A master performance by both of them, really. They've both driven the wheels off the car. I don't think there's anything to say, really, about this. They're both driven fantastically well. And
well, that small error in the pit stop for Stephen Walker may have cost him the chance of getting out in front of Simon. Whether he could have held it, we will never know.
I do think that did cost him. You know, that might have just been the thing that put them nose to nose as they came out, and you just don't know. But yeah, it was unfortunate.
Yeah, that could have been a he who dares wins situation, or he who dares.
Another great race, and look, a bit of acknowledgement by Stephen.
Yeah, and there it is. Simon Trendle takes away the win in GT4. Stephen Walker comes home in second.
Can cruise in comfort.
And Belize comes home first in TCR. Carl Hardy's going to come home second, and Matt Elmore in third. And Yarrick Sebula comes home in third in GT4s. Flannery. No, Matt Flannery's back in front of Shane Powell. So no changes there. Matt Elmore currently offering Carl Hardy all the burgers under the sun to reverse those positions.
Oh dear, he knows how to offer a good bribe. He's got him on his weak point. Wow, what a race.
So we just wait for the last few drivers to cross the line in the minor positions, and then we will bring you your official finishing order.
Very disappointing for the scrap metal man.
Yeah, anybody turning up and hoping to take trophies home with them in the shape of car parts will be very disappointed tonight. These drivers, as Andy Littler has pointed out, amazing skills. Okay, so your official race results in GT4 class. Another win for Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Stephen Walker with a valiant performance comes home second for Spectre 6. And Yarrick Sebula, a bit of a distant third, but still a podium for Semper Racing. Stefan Goebel comes home fourth. Jamie Wilson in fifth. Jason Haddington in sixth, Chris Needham in seventh, and the black flagged Ellis Stevens in eighth. Over to the TCR class, and Sam Belize with a comfortable win for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result in second. He had a fantastic battle with third place Matt Elmore for Spectre 6 TCR. Russell Cowell comes home in fourth, Matt Flannery in fifth, Shane Powell in sixth, Roger Morton in seventh, Scott Malcolm in eighth, JB Dejoux in ninth, David Ayres in 10th, and the retired Martin Brennan in 11th. So, Alan, that was, I wouldn't say it was a Belle Isle classic, but it was in the way of skillful racing, not in the way of mistakes and carnage.
Well, you know, it's what we actually want to see, isn't it? We want to see people driving well and showing us how good they are, and we had that tonight. We had an hour of people in what is really a very dangerous circuit, driving the wheels off the cars and really, I mean, touching the walls, but hardly ever hitting them too hard. It's a masterful performance by the guys, and nothing like the amount of carnage we were expecting. I was certainly expecting to see a bit more wreckage, and there you see, as usual, you're driving out your skins.
Yeah, getting close to the walls without touching them is most definitely a skill. So let's get our interviews underway, and let's bring in our GT4 winner, Simon Trendle. Welcome to the booth.
Evening. I'm getting used to this winning stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, another win in the GT4 class. Was you worried around pit stop time that Stephen had somehow managed to save some fuel behind you and he was going to jump you in the pit stop? Ultimately, you made a mistake with the pit stop, but did that cross your mind?
It did. I was very much expecting it, and hence why the 2 laps I did extra were like 2 tenths, 3 tenths faster, because I was trying to make that up. I don't know if he was on board, but I was coughing down the pit lane because it was that tight. So, yes, I was worried about it.
Okay, and after the pit stop, you had an almost 5-second lead. I think we went and looked at a TCR battle was going on, and I looked up, and it was down to 1.7 seconds. We noticed you had a limp wing mirror on the right-hand side. Are those two occurrences related?
That would have been netcode. I didn't have any wobbly mirrors on mine, so I did clip some walls. So the netcode probably wasn't too wrong, but yeah, it didn't fall off on mine. No, I caught a bunch of TCR traffic, which cost me some time. But obviously, we're both catching that. But I got lost a little bit more, and I'd made some mistakes. And if you make some mistakes here, you have to get out of the throttle, and that costs you massively. So I've lost about 1.5 seconds doing silly mistakes over a few laps.
Well, to be fair, mate, normally round here, making a mistake sees you saying hello to Mr. or Mrs. Wall. So, if you was making mistakes and you wasn't crashing, you was certainly doing well. How do you find Belle Isle? Are you one of these drivers that think it's like the best thing since sliced bread, or are you at the other end of the spectrum where, we're racing here, so I'll do it, but it's a bit of a chore?
I don't like bumpy tracks, but for some reason I like this one. And it's very weird why. I don't know why I do, but I do quite. I don't like starting practicing it. It's really frustrating to clip walls and then.
Lost me sound.
No, you haven't. We just lost Simon's sound.
Oh. Well, that's a shame because I was really interested in what Simon was saying.
The light was on, but
there you are.
home. Yeah.
Sorry, my
VR
headset had reset itself and decided to make it my default microphone. I can't remember where I was now.
You was telling us that you don't like bumpy tracks, but you like this one.
Yeah, I don't know why I like this one. There's something about it that works, and it's not just this car. So I was quite good in the V8 around here. I've been very good in TCR around here, and I don't know what it is, but Sebring I dislike. It's bumpy, and I go off track. And Long Beach I'm not too big a fan of. It's all right, but I wouldn't choose to race it. Whereas here I do quite get on with it.
Yeah, well, you certainly did, as that win proves. And this is the first of some of the more tight tracks. Lime Rock Park Classic next, and then Winton. Obviously, everybody has done 48 million miles around Lime Rock Park. How do you think you're going to go around there?
Depends how good the Mercedes is around there. The Porsche should be okay. Lime Rock's a tyre shredder, so that helps the Porsche. But yeah, I don't know how the Merc handles. I haven't done too much driving in the Merc. I'm not sure what its strengths and weaknesses are. I know its strengths and weaknesses around Belle Isle, which is it's much faster into turn 3 than I am, which was worrying me because it's the one overtaking place as well.
Well, like I say, it was a fantastic drive from yourself, mistakes and all, but ultimately you sit at the top of the pile. So any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yep, to you guys for running the series and doing the broadcasts. As I say, always good fun to watch back. And everyone who's in the series, because we wouldn't have a race without people turning up. So thank you all.
And I'll add one for you, Jamie, for attending.
He was a bit bored. He didn't have anything to do. He has his own void generator, and it seems to work quite often on him. So, but yeah, he didn't have much to do that race.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the win, Simon, and we'll see you next time out.
Cheers, guys.
Great drive, Simon. Really great drive, mate. Enjoyed that a lot.
Okay.
It's so smooth. How did you do that?
It's our TCR winner, Sam Blees. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. So, no teammate to battle with this week. Some lame excuse about going to watch his daughters play. But at least at the start of the race, you couldn't seem to get rid of Messrs. Elmore and Hardy.
No, I was in management mode for quite a lot of it because management of myself. I knew if I pushed more than about 80% at any stage, I was definitely going to crash out of the race. As I proved when I hit the wall twice when I tried to do fast laps for the fastest lap points. So I was sort of just going, okay, well, let's just save a bit of fuel because I need to have something I'm working towards without it being fast laps, because that's the only way I'm going to actually get to the end. And it seemed to work. But yeah, they're like you say, yeah, Hardy, Carl and Matt were really good and kept me honest right through until the pit stop. So I gained a little bit there, which helped.
Yeah, and as you just touched on there, and Alan mentioned it during the broadcast, this is one of those tracks where it's 100% concentration for 100% of the lap. There is no rest, is there?
No, absolutely not. You know, there's no like long straight where you can just have a think and a plan and a drink or whatever it is, just flat out corner after corner after corner. And I think I'd add to that it's one of those where you're faster at 80% than you are at 100% most of the time, because you're just too error prone, and any error here is fatal often.
Yeah, you can be the best driver in the world, can't you? And one mistake, and it's good night nurse. Simon Trendle, interestingly, was just telling us that he was making mistakes, but managing to get out of the throttle and avoid a crash, even though it meant Stephen Walker was seriously eating into his lead. But that's good, should we say, self-management as well. But ultimately, you came out, I think, after the pit stop about 3.5 seconds in the lead, and really didn't look back from there, did you? That Matt and Carl were having their own battle, which as we've seen on numerous occasions, allows the car in front just to pull away and make that gap more comfortable.
Yeah, I was quite grateful for that, to be honest, because I'd underfueled a bit, so I had to keep the fuel saving going in the second stint a little bit more than I would have liked. So they were sort of closing on me for a bit, and then I'd push do a quick lap or two and pull it out again, and then then I think they had a same to like a lap or two of side by side. So I look forward to that on the replay later on. Which just got me ahead.
Certainly had an epic battle towards the end there. That is well worth watching. Anyway, mate, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
I would like to say a very well done to Matt Flannery, my teammate, for 5th place. I'm not sure if that's the best ever, but 5th place and 0x around there was a very, very good showing. So congratulations to him.
Should be. Before you congratulate him too much, just have a look at him and Roger Morton. I'll say no more. It's on the broadcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've left the session, so I'll have to watch the broadcast. But I will do that. And as ever, thanks to you guys for hosting. Well done to Carl and Matt. Good racing. Well done on the podiums and the podium finishes for GT4 as well, which is Simon and Stephen and Yaroslav, I think.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he came home in 3rd.
Cool. So yeah, well done everybody. Good racing, and thanks very much for having us and putting it on us as ever.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you next time out at Lime Rock Park. Our TCR winner, Sam Blees.
Thanks very much, guys.
Yeah, well done, Sam.
Okay, Alan, it's spotlight time for you, and you are going to get our 2nd place GT4 winner, Stephen Walker.
Oh, Stephen, how excellent.
G'day, mate.
Hello, matey. It's going to be easy to remember what you did, because you did a fantastic job of following Simon around. You did. Keep it. I so enjoyed this, because you just you were right on him, and then you were easing back, and you were right on him, and we didn't know what was going to happen in the pit stops, and you went in, and I thought, oh, clever move, and then you got to do a reverse in the pits, and then what happened?
Pit stops. Fed up of the pit stops. I overshot, reversed, and I was still too far forward, so I had to reverse again, and obviously that cost me when I came out, and I think had I not overshot, I would have come out in front of the 2 cars that I came out behind, maybe. So that cost me as well, I think. Not a lot. I think obviously it's the pit stop that cost me more, which I was annoyed about, because I felt like this would, so far throughout the season, I felt like this would be the only race that I felt like I could win. I had the pace, the car felt great, I felt great. I was to try and make that gap back, to try and capitalise on Simon getting caught in the traffic a little bit more. That I was trying to push to keep that gap and just shrink it. Maybe a couple more laps at the end. I just was trying too hard to get past him. I knew where I was quicker, and I just pushed it a tad too much and just clipped the wall, and it slowed me down for the straight.
Right. Well, you had him under pressure, Stephen. He said that he did a couple of fast laps because he was worried about you. Having saved a bit of fuel and coming out in front of him, and he stayed out and did those extra laps. And if you hadn't had that problem with this pit stop, I think you might well have been. Things would have worked out differently for you.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a close call. I either would have been within a second, which I could have made up, or maybe just a second in front. And I felt like, I don't know whether ultimately I would have been able to pull away from him, because he's obviously really quick. He knows the class and really well, and he wasn't slow. But it's the first time I felt where, okay, I'm quick here. I picked this track. It's one of my favourite tracks, if not the favourite. So I think that helped a little bit. I'm not expecting to be as quick as them for the rest of the season, really. It was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. The first half was a little bit like, do I try and overtake? I had a few laps where I had the run into the third corner where I was strongest in that first couple of corners. I was like, no, just save fuel. After what happened last week, try and jump it in the pits. And like in my head, I was like, don't mess up the pits. And obviously, that's what I did.
Yeah,
so that was annoying. But
yes, unfortunate. But you shouldn't be across with yourself, because you did a really fantastic drive, and you were the class of the field. You and Simon did a fantastic drive between you. It's not a flawless performance, but this is such a difficult track, and that was a really fine drive, matey.
Yeah,
we're going to that Lime Rock next week, I think. What do you reckon?
If it could be bombed so it doesn't exist anymore and iRacing take it out, then that'd be great. I hate Lime Rock. I despise it.
Oh, so you're a bit lukewarm in your feelings through the place.
Absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. I can do it to a certain extent. I could do it in the TCR, but I think as a track, it's just too small to run at any form of multi-class.
Right. Yes.
Like if it was just like a single class, then totally fine. Like MX-5, Mazda, the Formula 4 car. Yeah, I reckon it would be a lot of fun. But as a multi-class, no, thank you. It's just going to be who can manage the traffic the best, really.
Well, and you've got a big car, so you're going to have your hands full.
Yeah, the back end likes to get out. It's good fun to drive, though. When I was practicing, I was coming out of that second corner and I was basically drifting it up to the wall. It felt great.
Yes,
I tried not to do that in the race.
Oh, it looked good. Really good drive. So, shout-outs, matey.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs?
Yeah, you guys, obviously, for putting on a great show again and letting us race. Simon for being just a top sport and quick and pushing me to go quicker, because it's nice to run with the GT4s this season. The rest of my team that helped me out a little bit towards the end of the race there, and I think they all had good results. And my brother who is watching, and yeah, just great. It's just brilliant, mate. I'm just happy I had a good race.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve, because I enjoyed it as well, matey. It was lovely.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's bring in our second place TCR driver, Carl Hardy. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Now, I was going to let Alan interview you, but I was a little bit worried about how full his incontinence pants are going to get. So I'm going to take this one. Now, we said before the race started that the last time we was here was way back in season 1, and a certain Carl Hardy held the track record. So we were sort of thinking that maybe Carl likes this track a little bit, and it certainly proved to be that way.
The track's okay. It's not my best track, but I don't know what they've done with the track, because them little scrapes on the wall, they're all 0Xs and they do not damage the car.
Yeah, there was very little incident points scored tonight.
Yeah, well, I got 0, and that tells you that it's not right. Because I'm normally king of X's. So, which obviously helped me. And we practiced it all. Obviously, all the lobbies I put up, we've practiced that. And then we weren't sure if it was going to be the same in the race lobby. So straight away, I practiced a little knock on the wall to see what happened. And it was fine. It was all good. So that helped us.
So you're telling us you crashed into the wall on purpose just to see what would happen?
I didn't crash into it. I just scraped it, like I've been doing. In because you've got to, because obviously, like.
Honestly, mate, that's the first thing I do when I drive to work in the morning. I find the nearest wall, scrape my car along the side of it, and just to see what happens.
Yeah, it's a new hobby of mine. But I mean, the practice lobbies, honestly, I know I put them up and that, but them boys,
But Wobbly puts them up. Come on, tell the truth.
Sorry, but them boys just joining. Obviously, Matt and Russell, we're just constantly knocking off each other. Russell kindly shares his setups. We share all the information, what I'm doing on my tyres wear and their tyre wear, and we're doing splits, like who's quicker where, so we're sharing all our information. Obviously, we just want a good race. We want everybody to be as close as we can so we can all enjoy it. And my God, what a race tonight.
Yeah, nearly went wrong for you on lap 1.
Russell blamed me for that, but I'm not.
We didn't have a massively great angle on it, but on first glances, it did look like you came across and squeezed him. But that's not the important bit. The important bit is this battle that you had with Matt Elmore. It was, first half of the race, you sort of followed him. You jumped him in the pit stop.
We weren't happy with that.
And then I watched you over defend and lose your lead over Matt. And then I looked up again, thinking that battle was all over, and you was past him again. And this isn't an easy track to overtake on.
Honestly, again, it goes back to the practice sessions, because we practice that. We practice side by side. We practice overtake, and we practice following each other. Tonight we knew we could do it. If it come to that scenario, obviously we knew it was going to be a chance, just because we're all the same sort of pace. So, and to end up going around 3 or 4 corners, whatever it was, side by side, was just epic. I just had a massive smile on my face.
Yeah, it was a fantastic battle, and ultimately you won out and got second place.
Beat him.
So, any shout-outs you want to give after that fantastic drive?
Obviously, everyone to do with Backfire. You guys, obviously, you give up all your time. So, first off, you guys, obviously my teammates, and especially Matt, Russell, all the drivers. Without all the drivers, we wouldn't be having these battles and this brilliant racing. So, no, it's really good. It's a brilliant league.
Excellent. Well, that's always nice to hear. And next time out, Lime Rock Park.
Is it the old layout?
It is. It's the classic layout.
Sweet.
Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I like the track. It's hard again to overtake, but you can dive bomb into the first corner. But yeah, it should be good racing. Racing.
I usually like the racing round Lime Rock. Anyway, mate, it's time for us to flush you. So congratulations on your second place, and we'll see you next time out, Carl Hardy.
Yeah, cheers, lads. Take care.
Well done, Captain.
Cheers, Al.
Okay, next up, let's bring in our third step on the podium in GT4 class. It's Jarek Sebula. Welcome to the booth.
Hello, guys. Hello.
So, those two in front of you, absolutely phenomenal pace, but you kept up with them for quite a while, and then started dropping back. Was that a mistake, or had you overworked your tyres?
Yeah, it's hard to say at the moment, because these guys in front were just mad, actually, to go in so fast between those walls. I did few mistakes. I did touch the wall 2 or 3 times. I don't know if that really had any impact on my top speed or something like that. Well, I was holding for a while until I had the draft, and I was trying to do it for as long as possible. But then it wasn't so easy to actually keep up with their pace, and done a few mistakes as well. So, and then there was a traffic coming into play as well. Sometimes I wasn't very lucky with that either. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It was good racing and good race because it wasn't so much about fuel saving. It was just a raw pace, I think. Only a little bit of fuel saving in the beginning we did, I think, and then we just drive as fast as we could, and it was really enjoyable, I have to say. Although I was struggling sometimes with keeping the car in line and hitting those apexes, but it was good.
Well, that's good to hear. Do you feel that you're getting more knowledge with the car now, and with the league, and maybe we're going to see your pace keep improving over the remainder of the season?
Hard to say because actually on a previous race I had a really good pace, and I thought that I have a really good knowledge of the car. But then I binned it. And this race, I had no chance really to practice, and I haven't got a knowledge at all. And I actually did quite okay.
And that's the way that racing goes sometimes.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
It's amazing. Well, that was still a great result from yourself. Obviously, we didn't see you in too many battles, but a track like this, you're battling the track for the whole race, let alone other drivers.
Oh yeah, I really like this track, and so it was a pleasure to just doing the laps, and driving as fast as possible. That's already enough, Yeah, and coming back to your previous questions, I am also going on holidays next week, so I think I'll be missing like runs or something like that.
Okay, so the burning question is, are you going anywhere nice?
I am going home to visit my family, so I am really happy with that.
That's classed as nice, I think. Well, congratulations on your 3rd place tonight. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
As always, yourself, guys. You're doing a great work all the time, keeping the league active and commentary. And Alan, I'm sure that you did some great commentary as well today.
Well, commentary.
So yeah, pretty much that's it. Thank you guys for organizing the league because you make my evening pleasurable.
Excellent.
That's very nice.
That's what we always like to hear. So again, congratulations on that 3rd place finish, Jarek Sebula.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
See you next time.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in our 3rd place TCR finisher, Matt Elmore. So Matt, welcome to the booth, first off.
Good evening.
So I said in the broadcast, you started off with some fantastic results, and in my head I was thinking, is he drawing on a bit of luck? Is this a bit of a flash in the pan moment for him? But you're up there constantly, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's down to practice. All it is the practice. Carl puts on the practice lobbies, and we just run lap after lap after lap. In the interview last week, I said to you, this track, I absolutely hate it. I've never finished a race round here, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked that I did, and with a 0 times, to be fair.
That is fantastic, mate. But we're going to have to talk about this battle with Carl. That was fantastic. You must have enjoyed the battle, if not the result of the battle.
Well, I've a bit of banter, but I was just saying how he cheated on his pit stop because he used his clutch pedal to pull off a lot faster than me and get a position. I was gutted. I absolutely couldn't believe it.
But we see. It certainly looked to us on the broadcast that Carl over defended. You managed to get in front of him. At which point, I thought that's done and dusted. That's going to finish with Matt in second and Carl in third. And then I looked up again, and Carl had got back past you. What happened there?
There was someone that's a little bit fast. It's changed to a GT4 that needed to get past, and I was doing the teammate thing and let him pass. And Carl saw the opportunity to kind of quickly swoop behind him.
Never let your teammate pass.
I told him next time I'm taking him out.
But I know we used to have some banter on the chat when you wasn't racing, and we was telling you to come back and get your butt in the car, and now you're back and you seem like you're thoroughly enjoying yourself.
I am enjoying myself, to be fair, and you're right. I've got nerve damage in my back and my legs, so I do struggle. But yeah, I've had to adjust. I've had to put a 30% dead zone on my brake pedal so I can do it basically. But like I say, it's just the practice laps with Carl, Russ. Believe it or not, in practice we're all within a tenth of each other. It's so close. And then the odd time Sam will come in and just beat us all. But yeah, it's just practice, and it's just good fun, and it shows when it comes to racing because you know where each other's going to be, you know each other's limits, etc.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a battle, isn't it? Just enjoying yourself in practice, because it can be a chore. But like you say, if you're enjoying the practice, it carries on into the race.
Most definitely. I think, like you say, by that battle me and Carl had, I think it showed. And I think if Russ was up there, I think it would have been a three-way, and I think there'd have been more than one position change because Russ is quite handy around here. Yeah,
well, like I say, it was a fantastic battle that we watched most of it, so congratulations on that. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you lot for hosting and doing what you do. It's good to be able to come home from work and take part. Thanks to Carl for making my back feel like the River Nile, and thanks to my teammates for pushing me on. It's good.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on yet another podium, Matt Elmore.
Cheers.
Well done, Matt.
Cheers.
Okay, we're getting through them. Let's bring in our fourth place TCR driver, Russell Cowell. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. You didn't quite have the speed for those top three tonight.
Yeah, took damage early on from the contact. It was the littlest piece of contact ever. It was unfortunate. I was trying to hang on as best I could, and then pushing the car too much, I did it again. So it seemed to slow the car down a little bit more.
Yeah. And when you see those drivers, I know you say you had damage, but when you see those drivers slowly eking out that gap in front of you, do you? I think you've already answered this question, but it makes you push that little bit harder, and then you're prone to a mistake, especially around a track like this, where, to be fair, a mistake usually leads to death, but we've seen some drivers get away with it tonight. Are you one of those that pushes yourself that much harder, or do you just sit there and go, look, this is the speed I can do, I will just stay at this speed and see where it takes me?
The worst thing for me is I get frustrated with myself when I can see that we've been, obviously Carl mentioned and Kat mentioned that we've been doing a lot of practice and it's been very close with the times. So with me knowing I could do the same times as them both, I was getting more frustrated with myself, and that leads to me tend to doing a little bit better usually. But in this case, I think it was me overdriving the car and not being as smooth as it should have been through some of the corners. So I wouldn't have had the second hit on the wall, for instance. So yeah, I do push myself more,
makes sense.
but it goes against me most of the time because I'm like, come on, Rush, you can do this. And then it's like, bang, oh wait, I've just binned it. Great, I can't do it again. I don't know if you remember, but
here's a good one then. Do you actually talk to yourself out loud, or are those conversations?
They're all in my head. It's all like frustrated with myself. I'm generally like, I don't know, tensing up at the wheel, if you know what I mean, like grabbing the wheel a little bit harder and trying to push. My hands are soaking wet through from tonight's race. So it's all in my head usually. I don't think Steve and Matt and Shane would like to hear me talking to myself while we're mid-race, because it can be quite off-putting when you're going around a track like this. Have we lost Clyde?
Have we lost Clyde? Oh, it looks like we could have. And
That's a funny joke, Russell.
I was going to say, I think we've lost everyone. It's down to you now, Sam.
Yeah, it's down to me, and I'm not used to do interviews, and I don't know what to say. Well, I guess that was a good race for all of the other guys, but you seemed a bit alone for half of it. How does that feel?
Well, like I say, it was just with the fact that we'd done all the practice we'd done, and I knew I could do the similar times, trying to push myself a little bit harder. It was all right. It was just a bit lonely. I could see the guys behind me closing the gap, and then it staying the same. So it's just a case of push myself. Hopefully, try and gain some time on Matt and Carl, but it just wasn't happening tonight. So hopefully, I can bring it next week.
Talking about next week, Lamrock, what do you think about it?
It's not my strongest track, but it's not my weakest track. I'd keep your eye out on Captain Mannering or Matt Elmore. He's very consistent around there from when we've drove it in the past. But I believe Carl's looking forward to it, and Sam's said he's also a bit of a demon around there. So it'd be good to see. Hopefully we can give you a bit of a viewing tonight with more cars rather than just the three of them.
I think it's the old layout, isn't it? So we haven't got the chicane to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I prefer that myself. So, yeah. Well, that was a really... do you want to give any shout-outs, matey?
Yeah, to you guys, obviously, for putting the show on, as always. It's brilliant to see. Really appreciate the work you guys put in the background and in the front, like what we see. Carl for putting the practice sessions on, and everyone that comes to the practice sessions, because without that, I don't think we understand how to drive around each other as much. And my teammates just for pushing us and watching them take away points from me every week. It's brilliant to see.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you. I don't. Have you got the switches, Sam?
I can move down. It's fine. Cheers, guys.
Well done, mate.
See you later.
Hello, Matt.
Evening. How are we going?
Well, we're not doing very well at the moment. We seem to have lost our Clyde.
We noticed it, runner.
So, am I in charge of doing the interviews now, Sam, in my awesomeness as an interview person here?
Of course you are.
Well, it looks like it.
You've been left high and dry, Alan, I think.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, my friend. Wouldn't be the first time. So, tell me, did you enjoy this track tonight?
I enjoyed it more than I was expecting to. Wasn't feeling particularly good about it. I'm following sort of practice. Just keeping out of the walls was kind of difficult, but yeah, it ended up being a pretty decent race for me. So quite pleased with the result.
Yeah, no, it's there was nothing like the amount of coverage. I thought, everybody drove really carefully and sensibly. I think
it's very easy to pick up a lot of 0x's around here. Weirdly, you really have to smash a car into a wall to get instant points, it seems. But yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, nice to see everyone sort of drive clean. And we didn't lose too many people, I don't think.
No, well, yeah, I think we lost one to a black flag and one to a damage. Martin wrecked the car. So apart from that, yeah, I think we got away with it very lightly. I thought there'd be more incident. There wasn't. Even when the people were going to side by side through all the corners, you would have seen this stuff going on. And
yeah, I think to be fair, most people are pretty fair though. So I think that's kind of the good thing about driving in this league. Everyone's pretty solid through the corners and stuff. No one tends to do anything too stupid. So yeah, you can have that good side by side battle with people.
Yeah, it's great to see people driving so closely. Actually, I love to see this, and it's like you say, it's a function of the fact that people know each other so well, and they've got a lot of trust in each other when they're on the circuit.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes for great racing though to watch. It really does.
Yeah. Well, it's sweaty, but fun to be part of as well. So
yeah. No. Oh, now we're going to the old layout of Lime Rock next week without the horrible chicane, because I'm not a fan of that chicane. So
yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Lime Rock, but I'm pleased it is the layout without the chicane. I have to be honest. It's always a bit of a challenge with multiclass, but yeah, it should be good. I think most people will probably know it quite well, so hopefully it'll be another close race.
Well, I'm sure it'll be close. There's certainly some mixed feelings about the track.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm interested to see how that pans out really as a multi-class race, because there's not an awful lot of room there. And
no, yeah, it's quite tight, but I'm sure.
I think everybody have to go on best behaviour, but I'm sure you can pull it off. And it's
yeah.
I look forward to having a race with you guys, to be honest. Well, thanks very much, Matt. Have you got any thank yous or shout-outs you'd like to give, matey?
Yeah, just to you guys for putting on and everyone for some celebrations tonight.
No, you did. It was a fantastic race. It was everybody had some good driving, and it made quite a spectacle. I think you'll enjoy the replay.
Yeah, looking forward to giving that a watch.
Yeah, okay, mate. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Yeah, good night.
Bye.
I don't know, Sam. Is that it?
Well, looks like it is.
Well,
now you know what's coming next, right?
Oh, yeah, we've got to do a driver of the night for me and you.
Exactly. I tried to ask Clyde, but he's not answering, so we'll have to wait probably next week to have his vote. But we're going to go ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I wrote mine down earlier, but what I need to do is turn the light on because I can't read it now. It's got dark. There it is. Oh, now I can see. So this was quite tricky. Do you want to go first or me?
Go ahead.
Okay. So in the GTs, we had two great drives by Patrick and Stephen, and that they would be the natural candidates, but you know they're so often at the front. I'm reluctant to give it to them again, even though I think they did a fantastic drive. So I'm going for Yarrick because he really stuck in. He did, and I think he drove really well and he enjoyed the race. So good on him, and he's getting my vote in the GTs. Yes, and I've got no problem at all giving this to Carl tonight. My captain, fantastic drive by him, fantastic battle he had with Matt. And I gave it to Matt last time they had one of these to get-togethers between them. I hope they have a lot more of them, and it's going to Carl this week.
Well, that's both good pick. I'm actually going to go with Simon. I think it was, top of the pile. And it's probably the obvious choice for the GT4, but I think Steven deserves it, and Jack as well. Stefan, Jamie, Jason, I think just surviving the track, they will all deserve something. Going with the winner is the easy pick, this one. and I will join you for the TCR Carl. I think he held the records, the best time records for 8 seasons. No, he's probably beaten by somebody else. Clyde will tell us probably next week. But second place, I think it's one of the best results Carl had in this series since he started. So that proof is improving. All the work is done to all of the sessions, even though Wobbly says it's not Carl. I'm sure it is. You can see the names, Wobbly. So we all know it's Carl. It just does a great job, and I think that's a good reward to finish second and get 2 votes today.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think that's very nice of you to say so, and well deserved by him, but well said by you as well, Sam. Thank you.
And as I said, we'll wait for Clyde next week probably. Or I will just tell us on the chat.
Man's been struck silent. That's not good for him. He's our roundup man and really very good at it.
Yeah, he said on our private chat he lost sound and he had nothing about him, so probably something died in his computer. Hopefully not, but we never know.
Nothing expensive.
It is. It is. Right, Alan? I'm going to
Alan,
say
are we
thanks
counting
to you
down?
for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you, even though you're quite a regular now, which is good.
Yes, well, this is where I am on a Wednesday evening. It's where I choose to be, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, Sam, and we have a good time together.
Well, the pleasure is shared, which is good, and I think the drivers enjoyed it as well, which is great. But time to say goodbye, so I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. Reminder: we have GTCC coming on Sunday with Pete at the cameras because I'm away, so it should be fine. And well, the GT4 next week from Lime Rock. So good night from me.
And good night from me. And thank you very much, everybody, for listening and tuning in. And we'll see you again for another shuffle of this pack next week. Good night.